The story of Rome's rise, from a small city-state to the ruler of a vast empire, is one of the most remarkable in world history. The roots of Rome's power can be traced back to its legendary founding in 753 before Common Era, according to Roman mythology. The twin brothers Romulus and Remus, descendants of the Trojan hero Aeneas, were said to have been raised by a she-wolf and later found a city. Romulus became the first king, marking the beginning of Rome's long history. Early Roman Kingdom. Rome's early years were marked by the rule of kings with a mix of good and bad monarchs. Initially, Rome was a small settlement with a population of farmers and traders. The city was built on 7 hills near the Tiber River, providing natural defenses. Over time, Rome began to grow, expanding its territory through a series of military conquests. The early Romans established a strong centralized government under the kings, but by 509 before Common Era, the Romans overthrew their last king, Tarquin the Proud, and established a republic, the Roman Republic. The Roman Republic, 509 BCE 27 BC, marked a new phase in Roman history, characterized by a complex political system with elected officials and checks and balances. The most powerful positions were the consuls, 2 men elected annually, who held executive authority. The Senate, composed of aristocratic patricians, advised the consuls and wielded significant influence over policy. Meanwhile, the plebeians, or common people, fought for their rights, ultimately gaining more political power, especially after the creation of the office of the tribune, which allowed them to veto harmful legislation. During this period, Rome experienced both internal and external challenges. Internally, the conflict between the plebeians and patricians, known as the conflict of the orders, led to significant reforms. Externally, Rome expanded its influence through a combination of military conquest and diplomacy. The Roman legions, professional soldiers, organized into a highly disciplined army, were key to the Republic's success. They defeated powerful rivals like the Samnites, the Etruscans, and most notably the Carthaginians in the Punic Wars, 264–146 before Common Era. The Punic Wars. The Punic Wars were a turning point in Rome's rise to power. The First Punic War, 264–241 BC, saw Rome challenge Carthage for dominance in the western Mediterranean, particularly over the island of Sicily. After a long and grueling conflict, Rome emerged victorious, marking the beginning of its naval dominance. The Second Punic War, 218–201 BCE, however, is perhaps the most famous. The Carthaginian general Hannibal led an audacious campaign against Rome, famously crossing the Alps with elephants. Despite suffering major defeats at battles like Cannae, Rome's resilience and strategic reforms allowed it to ultimately defeat Hannibal, cementing its status as the dominant power in the Mediterranean. The Third Punic War, 149–146 BCE, ended with the complete destruction of Carthage, and Rome emerged as the uncontested power in the western Mediterranean. The transition to empire. Despite Rome's military successes, the Republic began to face internal strife. The expansion of Roman territories led to economic disparity, political corruption, and social unrest. A series of civil wars broke out, culminating in the rise of Julius Caesar. Caesar, after defeating his rivals in the civil wars, was declared dictator for life in 44 BCE. His assassination in the same year, however, did not stop the decline of the Republic. In 27 BCE, Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, later Augustus, became the first Roman emperor, marking the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Augustus's reign brought stability, and the empire began its golden age, lasting for centuries. Thus, the rise of Rome was shaped by a combination of military conquest, political innovation, and social struggle. From a small settlement to the center of a massive empire. Rome's path to power was complex, but ultimately led to one of the most influential civilizations in history.